Well, I didn't expect that to happen right there. We had to abort just a little bit earlier because we didn't have a good enough connectivity. I'm blasting across Alligator Alley and Florida Panther Preserve territory. And this is the morning mantra, and don't get on my case, it is still morning. Barely, and if it's 5 o'clock somewhere, it's probably 5 o'clock a.m. somewhere too, right? So here we are, bringing you a morning mantra, maybe a little bit late morning. I mean, I have 11:58, so it's still morning for 2 more minutes. And I want to talk to you about picking a direction. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is the New Cosmic Knowledge channel. Today, I'm going to come to you from the NCK bunker, the soon-to-be relocated NCK bunker. I'm going to come to you with a great teaching about the operational manual for the modern mind. And we're also going to get into a new alchemical approach to psychic self-defense. I think that both of these are going to be very profound for you, and I want you to make sure that you do tune in. So let's get right on with this. Pick a direction. Most people, 80% of people in this world, live lives without any direction, live lives without any purpose, live lives that are just drifting. 8 out of 10 people you pass in the street, 8 out of 10 people if you're in the airport, look around, 8 out of 10 people wherever you are, 8 out of 10 people are going to be drifters. That's why 8 out of 10 people will have relatively little or no impact upon this world, at least any positive impact, and to be frank with you, any negative impact. They will really live and die fairly insignificantly. That's sad to say, that's hard to say. But 2 out of 10 have decided a direction. 2 out of 10 have picked a direction. And I would wager to say that of the people listening to this broadcast, watching this broadcast, I'd like to think that we at least double that number, maybe triple that number. But I know that there's some of you that are in this chat room right now, that are watching this video right now, you haven't picked a direction either. You're drifting as well. But Jeff, I'm awake. Well, awake is great, but awake does you very little good, and it does no one else any good if you don't get out of bed. And if you don't have a direction, you're less likely to get out of bed. If you don't have a mission, you're less likely to get out of bed. If you don't have something that makes you spring out of bed in the morning, ready to take advantage of another day, to carpe another diem, then you need to have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself, and you need to find your great basic purpose. I can work with you and help you find your great basic purpose. Because once you found your great basic purpose, you will pick a direction. But Jeff, what if I picked the wrong direction? Well, you know what? I was coming home today, heading towards Clearwater from the Fort Lauderdale airport, and I was heading the right direction, but I wanted to get some gas before I hit Alligator Alley. And I got lost. Didn't know where I was going. So I picked a direction. It ended up being the wrong direction, but within 3 minutes, I was able to determine I was going the wrong way, and I was able to course correct. Sterling says, thanks. Those with missions walk differently. Yep. And I was able to course correct and get back going the right direction with a modicum of time loss. But if I'd have just gone around in circles, or just sat there and cried, or sat there and said, poor me, sat there and said, it's not fair, sat there and said, everybody's against me, sat there and said, nobody loves me, sat there and said, I don't have a chance, sat there and said, I don't have any money. But I didn't. I did not. I realized that I'd gotten off direction. I picked a direction. So what I'm saying to you is, pick a direction, any direction, and start moving in it. If it's not your direction, you'll know very, very soon. But going in the wrong direction is even better than drifting. I know that it doesn't make logical sense, But going in the wrong direction is better than drifting, because at least you're doing something. You're taking charge, you're realizing your divinity, and you're starting to move in sovereignty. Sovereignty is, I know I'm divine, now I'm going to act like I'm divine. And eventually, if you discover your divinity and you act in sovereignty, you'll work your way into your freedom. And notice I said work. You're not going to wander, you're not going to stumble, you're not going to happen upon freedom, you're going to work your way to freedom. And as Sandra says, it's an inside job. You have to unindoctrinate yourself, and unindoctrinating yourself is an inside job. And speaking of the lovely Sandra D, I love you, baby. She's in the chat room. So today, as soon as you get off of this broadcast, sit down with yourself and say, what is my direction? Sit down with yourself and pick a direction. Even if it's wrong, pick a direction. And head in that direction. Take charge of your mind. The other day I had to pick a direction. I had to decide to let go of low vibrational feelings. I had to decide to let go of feelings that are not serving to me and are not serving to other people. So I changed my direction, and I decided I'm going to live in high vibration feelings. I decided I'm going to love my enemies. I'm going to pray for those that despitefully use me. I'm going to call blessing upon those that have as part of their purpose to destroy my life. And in so doing, I've got the words of the Master that is going to bring conviction upon them. But that's not even the reason to do it. I'm doing it because it brings a change in me. I no longer walk around with low vibration frequencies. I no longer walk around with energetic burdens. I no longer walk around doing the wrong thing. Or let me correct that. I no longer walk around not doing the right thing. There's a difference. You can do the wrong thing. But just because you're not doing the wrong thing doesn't mean you're doing the right thing. Because you could be doing something that's not wrong, but it's also not right. That's called drifting. And if you allow low vibrational frequencies, like the frequencies that the God of the Bible, no way, wrong way, Yahweh, the usurper of that name who's now been banished, if you act in the frequencies of that God, revenge, vengeance, anger, wrath, jealousy. If you act in those frequencies, you carry those frequencies. And I know they say you are what you eat, but really you are the frequency in which you operate. And the good news is, why would anyone want to destroy your life? People without purpose, sad, live and let live. Absolutely. And that's my new mantra, live and let live. I've got enough problem between my two ears to keep me busy for the rest of my years. No doubt about it. So there's no reason for me to start looking outside of what's going on between my two ears to lend assistance to other people. I've got my hands full. And until I am perfect, that might take a minute. Until I'm perfect, I have no right to weigh in on anybody else's perceived imperfections. Because if I can look at someone else and see their imperfections, well, then I should be able to turn that gaze upon myself and find places to refine within me. Now, again, remember, I'm going to do this from a safe distance. If I'm in a relationship that is psychopathic, narcissistic, sociopathic, if I'm in a relationship that's dominating, controlling, if I'm in a relationship that's manipulative, if I'm in a relationship that puts me down, if I'm in a relationship that doesn't serve me, I'm going to get out of it, because the Master said, love your neighbor as yourself. Loving your neighbor is part of, loving your enemy is part of loving your neighbor. But before you love your neighbor, you got to love yourself. And loving yourself is protecting yourself and getting out of those situations first. I am not telling you to stay with a person that's manipulating you, abusing you, mistreating you, controlling you. That's not loving your enemy. That's violating the first commandment, which is love. Get yourself out of that situation, and then from a safe distance, you can begin to practice the activity of loving your neighbors. Sitting back, blaming, sitting back, controlling, or sitting back, and I just lost my picture, so I don't know what's still there. But that is picking a direction. I encourage you to pick a direction. And we got a bunch of funny squiggly lines on the screen, so I'm not sure what you're seeing. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this morning mantra. I'll be back with more broadcast excellence this evening, this afternoon, with the operational manual for the modern mind and with the alchemical applications of psychic self-defense. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. For Sandra D., we're reminding you to unindoctrinate yourself, and it is an inside job. And Callie is fast asleep. Callie is feeling good. I love you, Sandra. And I love the rest of you as well, but in a different way. And until next time, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, signing off, giving you a salute that you can't see, and encouraging you to ask questions, question answers, and to unindoctrinate yourself, remembering it is an inside job.